Hello everyone. Some of you may know me as Father Jeff Thompson, and you'd be right. Welcome to Christ the Redeemer Parish during the pandemic of 2020. I'm standing here in front of the beautiful new doors of the church. They were recently installed and then blessed by Archbishop Miller. Unfortunately, we have not been using these doors since their installation. Because of the pandemic, we must use the side door of the church for both entry and exit in order that we may implement all the necessary precautions and safety measures. Let me show you how. Here is the side door of the church. This is how we enter. We arrive for Mass on Sunday because we have pre-registered for that Mass. We come to this welcome table where our volunteers check us in. When we arrive in the church, we will notice that hand sanitizer stations are all over the church foyer. We are encouraged strongly to use them on our way into the church. We're also encouraged strongly to wear a mask to church, but in case we happen to forget our own, there is a supply of masks that we may use. Once we check in, the volunteers direct us one way or the other around this line of stanchions that take us either into the left of the church or into the right of the church. If we had a favorite pew before the pandemic, all the pews are our favorites now. Entering the church, we notice immediately that the central aisle is blocked off for the sake of the camera and lights equipment. Volunteers escort us to our pews and seat us, whether individually, as couples, or as families, at the places that bear these yellow stickers. And we notice that the yellow stickers are placed all around the church in such a manner that we are always at least at a 2-meter distance from each other. After we are seated by the volunteers, if we are a couple or a large family, it may feel odd that we are sitting alone so far away from others, but the volunteers have spaced us out so that we may maintain a safe distance. Rest assured, all is well. As much as we would like to, and as instinctive as it is for us to sing during the liturgy in church, we are strongly discouraged, indeed just shy of forbidden, from singing in church these days, alas, because we know that the dangerous droplets which may carry the coronavirus are emitted in far greater numbers when we sing than when we speak. The distribution of Holy Communion takes place after the Mass is finished and the final blessing has been given. Again, for the distribution of Holy Communion, let us follow the directions and prompts of the volunteers. We approach for communion down the diagonal aisle, one pew at a time, to this plexiglass shield, and we leave the church immediately so that we may not congregate and further risk the spread of the virus. Just before the distribution of Holy Communion, Monsignor Smith and I sanitize our hands. If at any time during the distribution of communion we touch the hand of a communicant, we sanitize our hands again. If we can visualize this horizontal bar blocks the line of view for the priest distributing Holy Communion. So, when we approach the plexiglass shield, it is very good that we flatten our hands as much as possible and extend them as far as possible under the bar, over to the side of the priest, so that he may place Holy Communion on our hands there, and then we bring our hand back and receive it. Without doing this, there is a risk that the priest's hand coming to this side of the bar will touch ours. As in the case of singing in church, it is instinctive for us and natural to want to pause for a prayer of thanksgiving and some meditation after receiving Holy Communion. Unfortunately, because of these pandemic times, we are strongly encouraged to leave the church immediately after receiving Holy Communion without stopping for prayer at the chapels or in the back pews. We may make our prayers of thanksgiving and meditation at any time, outside the church, on the drive home, back at home, because in God's time, there is no delay. Following every Mass, volunteers sanitize the church by putting on this wonderful apparatus and fogging the entire space. We do not sanitize the pews individually with sanitary wipes because we do not have the volunteer manpower to cover that space in the time between Masses. It also risks damaging the furniture of the pews. The method of fogging is far quicker, and the substance is approved by the health authority. The fog is efficient because it settles on all surfaces and instantly eradicates the presence of the virus. Thank you for joining me for this excursion through the pandemic precautions and safety measures in place at Christ the Redeemer Parish. If you have been hesitating to join us in church because of your concerns for safety, I hope that these measures will put your mind at ease and that you will feel welcome to come back. We all look forward to the magnificent day when we will be able to enter and leave the church through these beautiful doors to salvation.